Sorry guys, hang on. Make sure we actually recording. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. And make sure that, yeah, okay, we are actually recording. Good, that's what I wanted to make sure. So let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so this was sent to you if you read the email announcement that went out today to remind you about tonight's meeting. It's also posted in Module 1, Week 1 of the course in Moodle. So you can, if you want to look at it, you're welcome to do so. Like I said, there's nothing that's that critical tonight other than just kind of getting us started. So one of the things I want to talk to you about, and I just realized I misspelled keys. I spelled it like I'm living in Florida or something, so excuse me for that. But I did want to walk through the syllabus with you a little bit and talk about that. We're also going to spend some time talking about how the course is organized and information you might need to know. Explain a little bit about the assignment timeline, how the course is particularly structured, how you go about submitting assignments, and then for those of you that are not familiar with Turn It In, just kind of explain that process to you a little bit. So to get us started, I'm going to stop sharing this screen now, and I'm going to switch us over to the actual Moodle course so that you can see it. Now keep in mind, my screen's going to look just a little bit different than yours, obviously as the instructor, but right now it should look very similar to yours. So the way that it's organized, you will notice that the first part of the course is called a welcome. There's no assignments or anything like that to complete in here, but I would highly encourage you to go through and read each one of these items because there's critical information that's going to help you to do well in the course. So obviously, the first thing is just a welcome. So you were emailed this letter, but it's also posted for you here. But let's take a minute and look at the actual syllabus. So I'm going to download that. And let me just double check and make sure. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see the syllabus? Okay, thank you very much. So this is the syllabus for the course, pretty standard kind of stuff with all of the information. Now, a lot of people, think that they can just run by LSUS and catch me in my office, and that used to be true, but it is not true anymore. My office, while there's still a space in 301B, I'm actually changing offices, and so I'm getting a brand new office that they're actually building. So I am working remotely from home. So even though my offices were in 301B and you're like, I just happen to be at LSUS, I'm going to go by and ask a question. Just be aware I'm not actually physically there. So I've given you my cell phone number. Please text me and tell me who you are. I share my cell phone number pretty freely with students and others. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a text message and they're like, hey, Tracy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I have absolutely no idea who you are. So text me, and then if I need to call you, I'm happy to do so. But text me first because I spend a lot of time in meetings, advising and counseling students, things like that. So text is always best to start us off. The next part of this talks about the course description and what you're going to be learning. And then please keep in mind there is no required textbook for this course. That I provide everything you're going to need. So those particular resources that you need for assignments, etc., will be posted in Moodle for you. Keep going here. I'm sure you guys really are not at all worried about the conceptual framework or goals and objectives. We have to do that for accreditation purposes. So if you really want to look at all this, you're welcome to do that. But it's pretty standard what we do to just make sure that we're in alignment with the standards that we're required to follow and use as part of our accreditation process. So I'm going to kind of go beyond that. And let's get down to number 6. The course is divided into 7 weeks or 7 modules. We're in the first week, which aligns with topic 1, and it's just called Getting to Know You. So the first week of the course, it's like I said, to kind of ease you into it. If you're a pro with Moodle, then this should be a really easy week for you. For those of you that maybe are new and haven't taken other courses at either LSUS or using the Moodle format, this is a great time to kind of play around with it and get to know what's going on and all of those kind of things. Okay, starting next week, this is going to be the main topics for our learning. So topic 2, week 2, is going to be about understanding the urban community. Then we're going to move in week 3 to inequities in cities and schools. In week 4, we're going to talk about the evaluation of schooling and focusing on what that looks like. Week 5, we're going to talk about collaboration and improvement. In week 6, we're going to do some action planning and research. And then the last week, which is actually your final exam week, I call it application of best practices, but basically at that time, you'll be doing your final exam, which is a project, okay? So keep in mind that we do have Zoom meetings every week through week 6 on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock. I do record these and post them, so I know a lot of students are like, I can't be there, I can't join live, that's fine. Just know that I will post the recording usually the same night after we finish. It takes about an hour for it to upload. For, you know, if there's a time you have to miss, it's not a big deal. You don't have to let me know. I don't grade you on attendance, but you will be held responsible for all of the content that's going to be shared in the meeting. A lot of people also say, gosh, you give tests, quizzes, etc. I do not. Your assignments are going to be basically written responses. So in the odd numbered weeks, so it's going to be week 1, 3, and 5, you will do a discussion forum posting. In weeks 2, 4, and 6, you're going to do either a written assignment or a reflective type essay. In week 7 is your final exam. Then along through this as well, you'll have a midterm, you'll have which is case study number 1, you'll have case study number 2 that you'll have to do, and then your final exam is a project. I'm much more interested in you being able to apply what you're learning in the course than I am you regurgitating information back to me. Also keep in mind the case studies, as I said, there are 3 of them. They actually build on each other, okay? So whatever you do with the first case study, you'll use that information for the second case study, and then that all culminates with case study number 3, which is your final, okay? So you can read, I'm not gonna read all this to you, but here is the grading and how that's handled. So you'll notice that each one of the discussion forums, which are 3 posts, they're worth 15 points each for a total of 45 points. Then you'll have 3 written work assignments, which are worth actually 20 points each. Then you have a case study, that's case study number 1, it's worth 70 points. Case study number 2, which is the midterm, is going to be worth 100 points. And then finally, your final exam, which is case study number 3, is worth 125 points. So the most points you can earn in the course is 400, and then you can read the scale and figure out based on how many total points you get what your final grade is going to be. I talk a lot here about attendance and assignments. I will tell you, even though this is quote the written policy, I am pretty forgiving about deadlines and assignments. You know, I spent 35 plus years in public education in Texas, so I know what it's like to be out in the real world and in the field working, and life happens, you know, and especially in 2020, whether it's COVID or a hurricane or whatever else, there's just been a lot of crazy things going on. So if you're late with an assignment, do not get all freaked out about it. Just communicate with me. So just let me know, shoot me a quick email and say, hey, you don't even have to tell me why. I'm going to be late with my assignment, and I promise you the response coming back is going to be, no worries, get it in when you can, okay? The only thing I want to caution you about is that course starts off kind of slow, and then it's like all of a sudden we're running this crazy 100-yard dash. So a lot of students will be like, just kind of, you know, not do everything along the way. And they're like, oh, I can just kind of do it all the last week or 2. That is basically impossible. So, just don't let it snowball on you. But, so try to follow the deadlines if you can. If you can't, again, no worries. Okay? The other thing that is probably just a personal pet peeve for me, because one of the things that I know, when I was back in graduate school, back in the dinosaur days, you really want to kind of know what the professors like and how to be successful in their course. So of all of the graduate professors in the MEDL or MEDCI program, I am probably the biggest stickler about English, grammar, usage, and APA style. Part of that stems from the fact that I have a bachelor's degree with a double major, and one of those majors is English. I taught high school English for a while, so like I said, that's where it stems from. But the other thing too is that for those of you that want to move on and take and do a doctorate class, or do your doctorate later on down the line, or if you're moving into a professional type role, we are teachers and educators, so we have to model for others what professional writing looks like. This is a graduate level course, and I do require professional type writing. If you've never written an APA style, it's really pretty simple. The best resource that I've ever found is called Purdue, and it's from Purdue University, so Purdue, OWL, O-W-L, and it's their online writing lab. You can just do a Google search and type in Purdue OWL, and there's tons of information about how to write an APA style, including samples and examples, so that you really can see what that looks like. The other thing I would encourage you to do is, if you haven't done so, download Grammarly to your computer, and it will automatically check your assignments. So it's a great handy tool that will just kind of keep you where you need to be. Okay, let's keep going here. A lot of students too prefer to use their personal email. I don't care which email you use, but technically you're supposed to use your LSUS student email. But I've given you information if you want to link your university email to your personal email so you see it there. It's pretty simple to do. The other thing, hang on, my internet is unstable, there it comes back, that we use is we have a tool that we use called Turnitin. So you, in essence, are going to be turning in your assignment twice in Moodle, and I'll show you what that means here in a minute. So the first thing you do is you go in, you click on the assignment link, you complete the assignment, and then you load it in, and then you're going to submit. The first time you submit, it's going to go through Turnitin. Turnitin is a tool that we use to catch plagiarism. Okay? And kind of the standard that I expect is 15% or less of a Turnitin score. So I do my paper, I turn it in, and it comes back, and it's a 9% plagiarism score. You're good to go. You can go ahead and submit. On the other side, if I turn it in and I go to Turnitin and I come back and it's a 53% plagiarism, you may want to kind of look at that, and you can adjust your assignment accordingly. Now, sometimes you will get a really high Turnitin score, and it's just the nature of the assignment. So I'll try to forewarn you when those are coming. So for example, when I taught EDL 700, in summer, AP2 1D, the last assignment, everybody was coming back with like a 50% plus plagiarism score and Turnitin. It was because of the template that we were using. So like I said, it's not a big deal, don't freak out, but that is we're looking basically for a 15% or less plagiarism standard. So I turn it in, I make any edits, corrections, whatever I need to do. So I've submitted it to Turnitin. If everything looks good, you have to go back, and there'll be another submit button that you have to push. Okay, so like I said, you submit, Turnitin will give you a percentage. You can leave it as is, you can make corrections and adjustments, and then you will do the final submit. A lot of students forget to do that the second time, and so it comes to me as a draft. I don't mind grading drafts, but you know, it's better if you actually do the real submission. Okay? The other thing about the assignments and things that we're going to do, as I told you, I'm not really interested in regurgitating a bunch of information to me. This is graduate level work, and so we try very hard to make sure that the assignments and the readings are really going to help provoke your thinking, for us to have a respectful dialogue, to draw conclusions, make inferences, and apply what you've learned, okay? So there'll be a lot of opportunities for you to give real life examples or, you know, talk about maybe some of the research and things like that. So keep in mind, like I said, it's not about getting the right answer. You know, we can have two students who say two very different things in response to one of the assignments, and they can both be right. Because at the end of the day, it's about how did you justify your stance? Is it supported by examples or other information? And the more that you kind of put into the assignment, the better your grade's going to be, okay? So a lot of students get really frustrated because they're like, well, you know, why didn't I get the full points? Well, when I give full points for an assignment, that generally means that you've really gone above and beyond, and you've maybe even looked at some additional research. Not required necessarily, but if you want to get the best grade, that's how you're going to do it. So again, you can read through this. I'm not going to bother to bore you with all that. Then when you come on down on the syllabus, you'll notice that I've listed for you the topics are the same as the week. So week 1, you had 1 reading assignment. In week 2, you have 3 reading assignments. Week 3, you have a bunch of assignments. They're pretty short though. So you can go through, and if you're one of those people who likes to work ahead, here's everything you're going to need. Now, when I put together the syllabus last week for you, all of these links worked. Sometimes though, there's a glitch or something. So if you can't access something using the links that I provided for you in the syllabus, just let me know and I'll be happy to update that for you, okay? Then you also, in addition to the readings, each week you're going to have a video or 2, maybe 3, that you are asked to watch. Most of these are found in YouTube. Occasionally there's going to be some other sites that this will take you to, but do your readings, make sure that you're watching the videos and the online lectures. And then here are your specific assignments. So as you can see, week 1, here's your assignments all the way through the end. And then again, I'm not going to bore you and read you, the student disability, code of conduct, all those kind of things. And then keep in mind too that the syllabus is always subject to change. Generally, I don't veer very far from it, but sometimes, like I said, things happen like a hurricane, and we have to vary from that just a little bit. Okay, so any questions about, oh, somebody said that I'm looking at the chat real quick here. Somebody said that, what was my pet peeve? I'm an English major, guys, so yeah, use proper English and professional level writing. This is not text messaging, etc. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my internet. And ever since we had the hurricane and I lost it completely, it's been splotchy at best. So hopefully it'll get better. Assignments, when you do turn it in, no, it's all one step. It's all one process. It's just 2 steps. So again, I'll show you once we go back into the course here. So let me do that again real quick and take you back to the course. So let me share one more time. There we go. Sorry, I'd rather you guys look at this than me any day. Okay. So let me go back over here so you can see. Hang on, come on. Okay. So if we're looking again, like I said, you've got the syllabus. Then I took that information we just went over in the syllabus and I put it together in a timeline so it's a little bit easier to read. So you can look at that. Then we also have the Instructor virtual office. So if you have a question, this is the place to put it. You just hit add new discussion topic. The only caution I have for you is don't put something in here that's real personal, like, just, Tracy, why did you give me such and such grade on, assignment B? Because everybody can see this and they'll see my response. But what I love about the Instructor Virtual Office is that before I can even respond sometimes, students will jump in and help each other. So this is sort of our public place where you can go and get additional information. Okay, let me go back. Come on, computer, work with you. There we go. If you've been in other classes, you probably had to have a TaskStream account. I hate TaskStream. That's just my personal bias, so I don't make you have one, which saves you $25 too, by the way. As I already said, there's no textbook, etc. So let's look at this week. So your first week of class, and every week is going to be structured in a very similar way. Okay. So here is the topic and an explanation of what we're going to be doing this week. So make sure you read that. Then there's an assignment piece. Okay. So here is where I've posted, maybe if it'll come up, your textbook readings. So here is the reading for this week. And you can just simply click on it and it will open up for you as a PDF document. I say that now that mine won't open. Come on. Okay, I'm not going to wait on it because it says it has a minute left to do that. Or you can actually download. Either one is fine. So let me go back to the course. Then here's your videos to watch. So pretty simple. They should come right up for you. And all you do is click on the play button. So again, like I said, pretty simple. Then this will take you to our Zoom meeting information. So I try to always send you a reminder, but life happens sometimes because my real job is to advise undergraduate students. And like this whole week, they've been kind of on my last nerve because they're emailing me like 15 times with the same question. So I love teaching graduate students because if I had to teach undergraduate students right now, I'd probably strangle one. So anyway, that's what you need to do. And then, of course, you have your assignment. So this is pretty simple. It is a discussion forum. So I'm going to just simply click on it. And a lot of you've already responded. So here's your forum. You're going to answer 5 questions. And then you also get to respond to 3 of your classmates. Okay? So you can see, let me find mine. Here we go. So I went through just as an example. And thank you for those people that replied to me. That was nice. Here's the information where I answered all of the questions. You don't have to give your bio. I just happen to have mine because that's part of what I do in my consulting business as well. And answered each one of the questions. And then you can see that if you want to reply or to get those 3 classmate replies that you're required to do, you just hit reply. And you'll see here, David responded to me. Thank you, David. And Elaine responded to me as well. Okay. So I love it too because we find out things like, oh my gosh, David's talking about, UNT is a really important, school and used to be UTD where I got my bachelor's. So anyway, like I said, just, take a few minutes and do that. And like I said, mine's going to look a little bit different than yours because I actually grade these, but let me go back to the actual assignment. So you can see, here's the discussion. If you want to reply, you simply would click on over here, the hot link, and then you can reply to Brianna or Angela or William or whoever you want to. It's really up to you. Okay. And you'll notice navigating, if you're new to Moodle, it's really simple. Just kind of back and forth between the module and the various pieces. After tonight's meeting, I will add another folder that will say Zoom meeting recording. And so that's where you go here You would just see it, it'll actually be another little folder if you wanted to go back and watch this again. So I haven't opened up week 2 yet, so don't hold me accountable for anything you see here. But I generally try to open them no later than Thursday of each week. When things die down a little bit, I've been known to go ahead and open up several at a time. So if you want to work ahead, that is absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. Some people like to work ahead, because they know that they're going to be out of town for a week, whatever. That is absolutely fine. The only other thing I want to make sure that you're really aware of is to look here on the calendar. So the course is always open on a Monday by 9 a.m. Like I said, I try to open it before then, but if some catastrophe happens, they will be open by Monday of that week. And they always close on Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the reason I emphasize that 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time is because the system literally shuts down. They do their nightly maintenance between 11:30 and 12 every night. So just make sure that you're aware of that. The only time that schedule varies is in the last week of the course. So in week 7, I'll open the course. It'll start on a Monday, but everything is due Saturday, October the 18th, during the very last week. So I've had students who, thought that they could still submit that Sunday, and they're panicked and texting me because they didn't get their final exam in. Once that 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time hits on Saturday, October the 18th, you can't access Moodle anymore. So just be aware of that so it doesn't catch you off guard. Okay? So let me fix this again. Okay, so what questions do you guys have about the syllabus or the assignments or anything like that? I know y'all are like, it is just completely overwhelming if you've never done this before. I promise it's pretty easy. It's really not that difficult. Okay. Well, the other thing I want to, oh yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Are you wanting us to talk or put it in the chat?
You can do either, whichever makes you more comfortable.
Okay. My question, I had a professor last session who wanted us to use APA 6th edition.
Okay. I don't care which one you use. Yeah, you can use 1, 2, 10. I don't care. Just as long as
okay.
I'm not a stickler for things like, the bibliography or anything like that. My big thing is use proper English. Don't send me something with misspellings. Sorry, I keep getting these crazy emails. They think I want to do Camp Gladiator. Did that once, about killed me. Never doing that again. So anyway, like I say, it's really about professional writing and proper English. And like I said, I'm not going to be a stickler about you. I said use version 6 and you use version 4, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Other questions, guys? Okay, well, I'll add to my little pet peeve list. LSU, the LSU system is the only place in the entire world that still has me down as Tracy Fraley. I worked really, really hard to get rid of that last name. My name is Tracy Johnson. So please just call me Tracy. You do not have to, it doesn't have to be, sorry, my internet just that. Okay, sorry, my internet I could tell it was fading out. So, I won't get mad at you, but I will, if you call me Miss Fraley, I will remind you that is not my name. I have documents that prove that that's not my name. So, but please feel free to call me Tracy. Very informal, we're all professors, or we're all professionals here, okay? Let me think if there's any other kind of pet peeve stuff. No, I'm pretty easygoing. Like I said, I spent 35 plus years in public education, so I really do understand what your lives are like. And I can't even imagine. I am so thankful that I do not have to be in public ed right now with all this COVID mess. and trying to work with, K-12 or pre-K-12 students. I will tell you that I was very much involved in the Ebola cases that hit the Dallas Independent School District that happened to be in some of my schools. So I get it a little, and I've handled plenty of crises, literally from somebody in my building with a gun to major gas leaks to an actual fire. You name it. I think I managed to hit every single crisis that you can, either as a principal or as an assistant superintendent. So not a lot shocks me anymore. But my hat's off to y'all. I cannot even imagine how challenging things have been. And for those of you in Louisiana, on top of that, we had to have a hurricane. And we're kind of used to hurricanes a little bit in this part of the country, but for those of us that live in Northwest Louisiana, we've never had a hurricane ever. And so, it really kind of freaked us out to get that all the way up through here. So like I said, anything that you guys need, I'm here to help you and support you. I think that's pretty much, like I said, I'm pretty laid back, not a lot rattles me, just communicate, that's all I ask. You have my email address in the syllabus, you have my cell phone number, you're welcome to use either one. If I don't immediately respond to you, like I said, right now, I have some very needy undergraduate students because my real job is I am the advising coordinator for the entire College of Business. And we have about 6,000 students in the College of Business. And I get to deal with all the undergrads, and they are on my last nerve right now, because I told a student that today, that he had taken more of my time than the 650 other undergraduate students had in this week alone. So anyway, I also tend to be a little bit blunt. So 11 years as a high school principal will do that to you. Okay, let's see. Anything else, guys, before we do some quick roundtable introductions? I have talked enough. Okay. All right, so just real quickly, we're going to go around, tell us who you are and where you're located and what your current position is. If you don't have a position, tell us what you're doing. Full-time student, mom, whatever. Who wants to start?
Hello, my name is Willie Henderson. I am a graduate student working on my doctorate in educational leadership at LSUS.
Welcome. Glad to have you, Willie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I've had a really crazy journey over this past year. I was diagnosed with throat cancer in September. And I'm pleased to say that I'm cancer free now, but I'm about 70 pounds lighter. So it has made my journey towards trying to achieve my doctorate kind of interesting, as you probably can imagine. But I'm glad to say I'm back on track, and I've had classes from you before, Tracy, and I've always enjoyed them. And I just, those of you who haven't had Tracy, it's discussion and communication is the key, and just to really you get the most out of it the more you put into it, and that's what I would say.
Thanks, Willie. I'll send you your check for the great PR there.
Right,
I'm really glad to hear that you're doing better. That's a true blessing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hopefully it continues.
Thank you.
Who's up next?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You're fine.
Go ahead,
you can
Rachel.
go. Okay, I'll go. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm from New Orleans, but I currently live in Lafayette. I am entering my first year of teaching. I'll be teaching 7th grade science and 6th grade physical education. I am a head girls basketball coach. I love playing basketball. My ultimate career goal is to be a behavior interventionist. My interests are to eliminate the school-to-prison pipeline by implementing restorative practices into schools. I do independent research all the time. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to restorative justice, but I really have a passion and a heart dealing with the youth. In my church, I am the young adult communications leader, and I am the kids church worship administrator. So I have our kids worship experience. I deal with that. So where kids are concerned, I have a passion. I'm starting a nonprofit. I was going to launch this summer, but because of COVID, I have to push it back. So I'll be pushing it back to next summer, but I felt like that was God's will because I can do more and plan better. So I'm excited about entering this course. I have 2 degrees from the University of Louisiana Lafayette, a bachelor's in political science, pre-law, and a master's in juvenile justice. So I'm really excited to be working with you all and knowing more about education and diving deep with you guys. Nice to meet all of you.
Thanks, Rachel, and bless you for teaching those 7th graders. Those are little hormones on feet. So we're really blessed to have people who are willing to do that. That was not my niche. Did that 3 years as a principal, and I was like, get me out of here, please. Okay, who's up next? Do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. I'm listed in Moodle as William Rouse, but I go by Todd. And I teach also 7th graders and 9th graders honors English here in Northeast Arkansas. We're about an hour from Memphis. A lot of people know where Memphis is. I actually lived several years in my younger life in Gonzales, Louisiana. So some of the Louisiana people know kind of that Baton Rouge area. Been at my school 8 years, team leader there. I have a son who's a freshman in college at the University of Arkansas. I have another son who's a senior in high school and a daughter who's a sophomore in high school. So it is a busy, fun, exciting time for everybody. And anyway, this is my 3rd class in the program, so glad to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, my brother-in-law is a pilot for FedEx and lives in Memphis. So yeah, get up to that part of the country quite often. Welcome. Glad to have you. Who's going to go next?
I'll go next.
Yeah, I'll call on you. Okay, go ahead. Who is that, Shannon or Camille?
Shannon. I'm Shannon.
Okay,
Hi, I'm Shannon Jenkins Berry. I'm from Houston, Texas. I work at a junior college, Lone Star Junior College, in the writing lab. I oversee tutors there. I've been doing that for about 3 years. I did teach in the public schools for over 17 years, but I have 3 sons. And because of so much going on, I resigned from my job. And so I stopped working. I did start a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit community outreach organization. And so after 26 years, I decided to come back to school. So this is, I think this is my 4th class. And so just enjoying it, just believing that, you know, through this, I'll be able to better assist those in the community. And so that's about it. I'm looking forward to this class.
awesome. Thanks, Shannon. Glad to meet you. Who's up next? Sorry, my dog just came in. So let's go next.
I am a middle school teacher. I teach grades 6 through 8. I teach family and community sciences. So it's called FACS. It's the old home economics, but I also teach them nutrition, financial literacy. We actually cook and everything. So I bake with my kids. I cook with my kids. And I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And after this class, I have one more. Excited about that, and I'm glad to see some familiar faces, and nice to meet you, Tracy. Look forward to working with everyone.
Yeah, and congratulations on being so close to finishing. That's exciting. Thank you. Welcome, Latasha. Who's up next?
No, go ahead, Camille.
All right, thank you. Thank you. My name is Camille Simon. I teach 2nd grade. This is my 4th year teaching 2nd grade from the University of Tennessee with my BA in Communication Studies, and went through an alt-cert program here in Baton Rouge where I live. Well, I live a little bit outside of Baton Rouge in Prairieville, which I think Todd knows where that is. Yeah. So, yeah, what really definitely, this is my very first class. What inspired me to even, I guess, apply there's a couple of people in administration at my school who just recommended this program, and yeah, shout out to Perryville. And so, who recommended this program, and definitely in the midst of just being at home. And I have I have 3 kids, but a son in school in Prairieville, which is one of the top 4 parishes here in the state. And I teach in Baker, Louisiana at a D school. And it was just really interesting to see how the gaps were highlighted, just even within my own house, where, you know, they had one-on-one technology. We didn't. And just really putting a question mark on why are things the way that they are. And so when I was cleaning out my classroom, you know, mask on and everything, one of them mentioned this program, and here we are. So I'm super, super, super excited, and I'm really looking forward to being able to apply what I learn in my classroom.
Awesome. Welcome, Camille.
Thank you.
I spent all my years well, I take that back. I started my teaching career in Highland Park, which is very, very fluent.
I'm sorry, it was breaking up.
I said I can relate. I started my teaching career in Highland Park in Dallas, which is like a rich area, and I hated every second of it. And so people thought I'd lost my mind when I transferred and went to work for the Dallas Independent School District, and ended up spending 35 years in the urban ed. So there is hope. There is news that, you know, lots of great things can happen, but sadly, there's just a ton of inequity, just a ton that still exists. So hopefully great leaders like you can solve those problems for the future. Okay, who's up next?
Thank you.
All right, now I'll go.
Okay.
I'm Emily. This is my last course in the program, so pretty excited about that. Thanks. I just spent 3 years teaching Head Start in Pittsburgh, which is where I live, and my classroom was eliminated. Actually ended up switching programs, so now I'm teaching pre-K counts, which, if you don't know a ton about early childhood, it's like, I mean, a totally separate like grant program. So now I'm not. So how to teach pre-K during COVID. My district is currently fully virtual, supposedly until October, but unofficially until January. So super fun. But yeah, I've enjoyed the program so much, and I'm excited to learn and keep on my learning with all of you. So thanks.
Thanks, Emily. That's exciting. I don't know how you teach pre-K virtually. That would be a challenge, but bless you for doing so. Hey, who's up next?
I think I could go next. My name is Stacy Watts. I live outside of Baton Rouge, but I teach in Baton Rouge. And I did kind of the similar thing to Camille. I worked in the #1 district in the state, and I hated it. And then I went to an F school, and I love it. And I can't imagine being anywhere else. I also went from elementary to high school. Hate elementary school. So I know. I've taught 10th grade, 11th grade, and this year I'm teaching 9th grade, and I teach ELA. So my grammar should be okay on my papers. And I don't know. This is my 3rd class. This is my 2nd semester in the program. And I have a 12-year-old and a 21-year-old and a 26-year-old. And before I was a teacher, I worked in software. So I have a lot of computer background, which has come in super handy.
Awesome. So if you need tutoring or help with editing your papers, Stacy is your go-to person. No? Glad to have you, Stacy.
I teach English, but I also do ESS, so I have to also write all the IEPs and do inclusion a couple hours a day, and it's got too much going on. So don't ask me for nothing. That's my story.
Understood. Okay, who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay, hey, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm from Jersey. Art teacher for kindergarten through 8th grade. And before that, I was a kindergarten teacher, so it was a really big adjustment. I'm not a huge fan of middle school. That's a difficult group to work with. But it's funny because they're like little people when you talk to them. So the hard part this year is learning how to teach art virtually. That's going to be really interesting. But I'm excited to be in this class. It's my 3rd class in the program, and I grew up in a very high income district, and then I started working in a very urban setting. So it's really interesting seeing the differences, and I wanted to get more involved and learn more about it. So that's what I'm doing here.
Awesome. Welcome, Nicole. Glad to have you. Yeah, I agree with you. Those middle schoolers. Oh. Bless those who do it. You guys are saints. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. If that's okay. From Shreveport, but I've been in Baton Rouge for almost 10 years now. I teach 8th grade. I'm actually teaching English 1 to 8th graders this year. And for like a couple of months, I was also like, I supported with ESL services. And I've got 3 boys, so if you're ever in class and you see or hear a lot, it's because it's loud here all the time. So yeah, that's me. Oh, and this is my 3rd course.
Awesome. We're glad to have you, Miranda. Welcome. Who's up next?
I can go next.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Jen.
I'm Jen. I live in Chicago, and I teach 3rd through 5th grade math in the south suburbs. And it's a suburban school, but it would be considered urban, like demographically. It's my 5th year there, but my 10th year overall. And I really like it. Not necessarily only teaching math. I really just would rather teach primary school. But it's nice to travel with my kid. Like, I've had the same group of kids now for 3 years for the 5th graders anyways. So that's nice. This is my first class in this program. I also have a master's degree in instructional technology. So that's been very helpful since we in Chicago are also only remote through probably spring break, honestly. So that's been very helpful for me right now. But yeah, so I'm excited.
Welcome. Glad to have you. I love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know.
It's a little quiet right now, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know.
Everything opens, it'll be nice and fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I'm saying last time I was there, it's not anything like what it is now, I'm sure. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, who's up next?
I can go next. My name is Alexandria Everett, and I live in the Monroe area. I am a 6th grade math teacher. This is my 2nd year, and absolutely love it. I actually was a Head Start teacher previously, and I hated it. But middle school is, it's great for me. But I guess it's probably because I have 2 younger kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. So I'm sure that probably has a lot to do with it because I'm used to a lot of chaos anyway. But this is my first class in the program. I just decided to, since I'm at a Title I school and I see a lot of the, deficiencies, I should say, that they have. And so I really want to hopefully be able to use what I learned in the program to, make a difference in the schools, and especially in the Monroe area, because there's a big lag in education in the public schools here. So.
I think when you work in an urban school environment, there is absolutely no place where you will feel more valued, appreciated, and like you're truly making a difference.
Definitely.
So thank you. I love to see passionate educators in our urban schools. We need you there desperately.
Yeah.
Okay, who's up next?
My name is Ebony Mackey. I live in Los Angeles, California. I teach at thank you. I teach at a middle school charter. It's a Title I school. I teach 6th grade English and history. I have also taught math. This is my first course with this program. I'm super excited to get going and just, be able to give more input on an admin level as a teacher, just to give,
Thank you. Welcome. We're glad to have you. And I love the fact we've got people from all over the country. That just brings a real richness to our conversations. So glad to have somebody from the West Coast. Awesome. Who's up next? We've got about 5 more minutes. We can probably do like 2 or 3 more people, and then we'll finish it up next week on the Zoom meeting for those people that didn't introduce themselves.
I'll go.
Okay, thanks.
My name is Cordell Carter. I'm from Houston, Texas. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade ELA intervention teacher.
Wow.
So I help the strugglers. Yes, that means I write 6 lesson plans a week to help them out. I also coach football, basketball, and track. I hate middle school.
I relate.
I've been teaching for 7 years, and 6 of the 7 years has been high school. This is my first year being back at middle school. 2 little boys, 2 and 3 that we adopted. And so me and my wife have our hands full. And so I just need to be at home more. And so that's why I am here. This is my first class. So excited to be here. And I do teach at a Title I school as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for adopting your 2 beautiful babies. What a rich blessing. You do have your hands full though, 2 and 3. That's a lot. We're glad to have you. Glad to see a fellow Texan.
Hi.
Hey, Carla.
I'll go next. I'm Carla. I am a 24-year educator. I'm currently serving as an assistant principal in DeSoto Parish. I am working toward my plus 30. I've had several classes with Tracy, and I love her dearly. So I think we'll all have a great time with Tracy. So I'm just looking forward to actually putting some of what I'm learning in this class, or will learn in this class, to work, because I work in an urban school. So I think this is going to be very exciting.
Awesome. Glad to have you again, Carla. Good to see you. Okay, let's do 1 more.
You can go.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Quinta Emery. I live in Amarillo, Texas right now, but I'm from Baton Rouge, and I have a daughter that's down there expecting her 2nd baby. She lives in Gonzales. I've been an IA for about 6 or 7 years, and they chased me down the hallway and taught me into going back to school. I didn't want to because I didn't want to take math. So I ended up taking algebra online. I made a B in it, and right now I've been teaching 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and grade and Algebra 1 now, all math. So then they hired me 2 years ago. Now I teach resource math and RTI. So it's funny, you never think where you're going to be is where, you end up teaching what you hated doing. So that's it.
Well, glad to have you. Welcome from Amarillo. Been there a few times in my life. Algebra 1 and English 1 are the 2 most important courses for a student in their entire academic career. And we're going to talk more about that, with how that relates to urban schools. Students who are successful in Algebra 1 and English 1 can go on and achieve and attain whatever they want to, basically. But unfortunately, a lot of our students don't ever master Algebra 1 or English 1 and their academic career. That's where we lose our most kids, is when they hit those, what I call gateway courses. So bless you. I'm glad that you called to do that, whether it was by coercion or whatever, but you're doing such an important job. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you late. It is 6:59 p.m. and I know some of you have other Zoom meetings, church, things like that. So just, again, thank you to everybody who showed up tonight. Love getting to see your bright, happy faces. And for those of you that didn't introduce yourself tonight, make sure you're prepared to do that next week when we meet. So y'all have a great night. I'm looking forward to learning and working with all of you guys. You've got a great group, so I'm really, really excited. Y'all have a great evening. I'll see you next week.